Hey everybody, this is Gandeh from GameCanon.co.uk. We're going to look at the UDK today, the Unreal Development Kit. I've just started using this piece of software myself as part of my games design course. If you've been following the website and my blog, you'll know a bit about that. This isn't a tutorial or anything. I'm going to show you how to make a basic level, but there are far better videos out there if you're interested in learning. This is just to hopefully get some of you who don't know about the UDK or who have heard of it but are a bit hesitant to use it. This is just to let you see how easy it is and hopefully encourage you to give it a shot yourself. So we're just going to boot it up now, and I'll talk you through a basic design of maybe 2 rooms with a corridor in between them. We might throw in a ramp. I'm finding ramps difficult at the moment, so I don't know. I might run away from that idea because jagged edges will start sticking out and I'll get annoyed and this video will end up being 3 hours long. So just going to load all these packages. I could have booted this up before I start the video. That would have been clever. Here we go. Right, so we're just going to get rid of all this stuff because we don't want any of it. And we're not going to use that, so we're going to go File and New Level, and we're going to click Blank Map. Now if I ask you if you want an additive or subtractive map, just pick additive. Okay, we're going to go quite quickly. I'm not going to explain everything in depth because, as I say, I don't know the program very well. I'm just learning the basics and I'm just hoping some of you will try it along with me. So this is our brush, and if you don't have it on your screen already, just hit B and it should come up. This is basically what we put all geometry into the map with. So any slabs, walls or anything will go in with this. These other windows are side view and top view, and we will need them at later points. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is create a floor slab. So if you come over to under the brushes and go right click on the cube, and this allows us to edit the dimensions. So we're just going to go for 1024 by 1024. Let's keep it simple. And for the Z, we're just going to 16 because that's going to be the thickness. So you see in the bottom left, you've got a nice handy guide for Z is blue, X is red, Y is green, so you can see the sort of different aspects that you're entering there. Now, as a general rule of thumb, you always want to do multiples of 16. I'm not going to go into why, but just stick to that rule for now. It will help you. Okay, next thing we need to do is make sure that this is properly snapped in. So as you see at the moment, it's over half a cube. It's like intersecting a cube rather than being evenly along the line. So what we're going to do is we're just going to right click on this corner and that'll snap it in, and we'll just make sure that that is the same there and the same there, so that's happy days. So we're quite happy with that, and we'll stick that in. So you're going to come under CSG and click CSG add, and there we go. If you're not seeing your screen quite like this, make sure you've got the unlit button checked just there. Okay, so that's our first floor slab. Now we're going to put another one in, and okay, I'm gonna try and do a ramp. It might go very badly, but I'll try and do one. So we'll just move this slab across the way a little bit, and I don't think I want it quite that high because I don't want the ramp to be insane. So we'll just place it about there, just a little bit above the other one. We'll just go CSG add again, and that's us got our 2 rooms. Now we just want to do a corridor, so we'll right click on the brush again. We're just going to mess with the dimensions. The corridor will have 768 by 384. Yeah, that'll do. So 768 by 384. And we're just gonna plonk this onto the room. We might need to adjust where all this is because we're obviously gonna have to build a ramp and the lengths are gonna have to match up, and they might not be perfect. You see that's not snapping in again there. So once again, we're gonna find this on our top left view, and we're just going to right click on that red cube, and I believe that's us snapped in now, so it's nice and even, and we'll just CSG add that. Now all we're going to do is come back out, drag the brush away, and we're just going to reverse the values so that we've got it going in the other direction. So 384 at the top this time, and then 768, and that'll just reverse the values. like so. I think what I'll do is, now here's an important point, because this is going to be a ramp, if I stick it on to the other corridor like this, and then I create a ramp with it, it's going to leave a gap in the floor there, and then I'm going to have to do complex things to try and fix that. So what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that we plonk it on the side, and then it should just nice and evenly marry up with it. Am I a little too high there? Yeah, it's not snapped in again, so we just right click and down, and we're snapped in. And now what we're going to do is we'll just, because we need this to match up here, what we're going to do is we'll click on this in the top left, and we'll just move it out to the side here like that. That's the wrong one. I've moved the wrong way. Let's move it back. Move it back to there. It's this one we want to move. Yes. Okay, so we'll just make sure these are matched up. It's about there. We'll probably have to mess with them again anyway. But okay, so when you move a piece of geometry like we did just there, which is something we've already placed into the level, different from a brush, then in order for it to see the move that we've made, we're going to have to click this button up here called Build Geometry. So we'll just hit that now. Ignore the errors, don't worry about them, and you'll see that that's now, that move has taken effect. So click back on our brush, and we'll just add that in. And move this brush out of the way. Now what we're going to do is bring this slab straight down and make sure these are matching up. So we'll click on it in the top right, and we're going to bring it down to the same level. And we'll just do Build Geometry. Oh, I've moved the brush. I've moved the brush. What a fool. This slab here. We're just going to move it down. And as you can see, it's not, we're just going to build that geometry there. As you can see, it's not quite snapped, but what we want to do is we want to snap this one in rather than the other. So we've just moved that again, and we're just building geometry. That should be us almost in place. We need to move this one just a little bit out, don't we? So we'll grab it in this window, and we'll move it to about there, and then just build that geometry again. And I think that's us. Happy days now. Happy days. Okay, so we need to create a ramp. So to create a ramp, what we're going to do is we're going to go into wireframe mode just here, and then we're going to go into geometry mode just here, and we're going to use the pen tool. Once we've done that, we need to select the piece that we want to pull and select the side we want to use, which is this one. Now, hopefully, in theory, all we're going to do is pull that up, and then we just hit apply, close that, go into lit mode, and we can't see it. Why can't we see it? Because we moved a piece of geometry that we've already placed. So what do we need to do? Build geometry. And that's our ramp. Snapped in, looking snazzy, happy days. Now we need some walls. We're not going to do ceiling, but we'll do walls. Now because our rooms are all the same size, we can get away with using obviously the one piece of geometry from the brush several times. But what we'll do is we'll do the ramp walls first, because they might be a bit more complex, because we're going to have to make them go at an angle, obviously. So what we'll do first is the length of these are 768. Now if you ever forget the length of something, neat wee trick here. If we come over to the bottom right window, if you just hold in your middle mouse button, your scroller button, and just drag it, a little ruler comes up. You can measure. We can see that that's 768. So right click on the brush, and we're going to go for height. We'll use 384, and then we're going to use 768 at the top, and then we'll use 16 for the other one. Oh, we'll reverse that. That's the wrong way around. 16 then 768. That's right. Happy days. Okay, Now we've got our brush, and this will be the right size for this piece of corridor here. It's a nice and big, high wall, isn't it? Now, of course, it's not... Firstly, it's not snapping, which we'll need to fix. So let's get it to where we want it to be first of all. That looks snapped. No. Can be quite fiddly sometimes. You can see that this is where it comes in handy to use these other windows, because you can make sure that that is definitely in the corner. Now we just need it in a bit. There. That's me happily snapped in there and at the right height. So now what we need to do is we need to get this slant, and what we can actually do is edit the brush in the same way that we edited the tile, and we could place this and then match it, but what we're going to do is we're going to just edit the brush, because then we can pull it over to the other side and reapply it again, because it should be identical, and you know, we're not editing two pieces of geometry. So let's go into a wireframe mode again. Let's go to geometry, and let's select the pieces we want to alter, which is this one here. Now I think actually that if I pull that up, that's going to lift the whole wall up. Do we want to lift the whole wall up? I don't know if we do. I'm just thinking of the height once we get to the top of the wall at the top. No, I think we do. I think we do. Should we go for it? Let's go for it. Yeah, let's go for it. Okay, so we'll take that. We'll close it, and we'll come into unlit, and we'll just build that. And now all we're going to do is pull the brush over, make sure that we're matched up on this side, which clearly I'm not at the moment, and then we're just going to add again. Happy days. So that's our most difficult piece done, really, the ramp and the walls around the ramp. So now we just have to fill in these other walls. So we've got 7681. Let's get that one done first. 68 by 16. Now what I could skip forward in this video, and when I get to the editing process I may just skip until I've finished all these walls. But I might just leave it in, because actually you might find yourself getting to a point where you're a little bit stuck and you want to see how I did that wall for some reason. Like there might be something that's not quite working for you. So we're just going to add that wall. Now we need one at the end here. Now again, if you're not sure what was the distance, so let's figure it out. It was 384, wasn't it? Must have been, was it? Yeah, 384. Because I didn't quite click there, did I? I'm sure it's 384. Has to be. Yeah, it's 384. So let's just edit that brush again. 16, 384. Okay. Now this is the error I suspected we might have with the top wall, but we can look at ways of fixing that. I'm just learning this program myself, so when I say we can look at ways of fixing that, I know there is a way to fix it. I just don't know if I remember how to fix it. But we'll have a bash. Let's rotate this brush and get the last piece in, which should be 38416. I believe, if my calculations are correct, that is what this little space should be here. It looks about right, doesn't it? Am I all lined up, folks? What do we think? Looks right. It looks right, it feels right. Let's just put it in. Okay. Now, the other walls are going to be fairly straightforward, but just to be annoying, shall I try and fiddle with the difficult part first, or should I leave it? Oh, this wall's not quite in. Oh, I knew it wasn't quite right. That one I don't care about so much. But I can't have a hole. That won't do. We'll have to edit that. So what we'll do is we'll go edit, undo, move actors, edit, undo, brush add, and then we'll just go. That was your fault, not mine. You distracted me with your jibber jabber, internet people. Right, now we need to do the big slabs, so let's get them done. 1024, 16, 384. I think that's right. Yeah, I think that's right. So we just slidey with the brushy. Make sure it's lindy. I think that was my issue before. I think in my foolishness to rush, what's happened is I've had some snapping error where it wasn't snapped in there, and instead of actually taking my time to add them and make sure that they're all lined up, I've not snapped them in, and so now I've got slight jagginess. So it's my own fault, but that is the price you pay. That's why you should always make sure they're lined up correctly. Okay, now we're just going to do these two walls here. I think I need a jingle for this, don't I? It takes so long. I think that's going to need to be snapped in. He says, as if he's been doing it all along. Right, that's it, snapped, isn't it? No holes in my wall. I hate holes. There we go. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Gandeh, you fool, you're blocking up the doorway. And yes, internet man, you're right, I am blocking up the doorway. But shut up! And also, I'll fix it later. That's okay. So we'll just CSG add that. No holes? Right, that looks about right. Okay, we need to take this brush now. Whoop. And we need to do these ends. Now, of course, if this was a map on its own, it'd be fairly boring. But learning the fundamentals of just, especially if you haven't used the program before, of just creating a really basic map like this is great, because you start to learn little tricks and little rules that are so important to remember in the long run. That's not right. What have you done? That's still not right. Come on. Is that it? Is that it? I think that's it. That'll do. That'll do. Says Jad. We're not looking for something perfect. We're just looking for a first little introduction. And then add. And then we've only got 2 more walls to do. Oh, yay. And then we can run about and do some shooting. Pew pew! Okay. Okay, we need to do a few more things. We need doors, I suppose. Otherwise, we'll just be trapped in a room. Now, I think while I'm putting this last one in and making sure I don't mess it up, I'll tell you why we've done a dogleg corridor, which is what it's called. He said as if he knew. That's right, isn't it? Add. Right, one more. Basically, the reason we've done a dogleg is because if you can see, if you've got a straight corridor from one room to another, and you can see straight in that room, then your computer's going to have to calculate all the elements in that room, all the meshes and walls and textures and whatever in that room. Whereas if there's a dogleg, it's only going to begin calculating those when you can see the room. So basically, by having a corridor like this, it means that your computer is only processing what you're in here and the corridor up until the point that you turn, and then it'll start calculating everything in there. So it just makes it just slightly easier going on the old computerinos. Right, we need a door, so let's edit the brush again, and we'll go for 256. Can generally just squeeze someone through, so let's go for 256 by 256. Oh no, one of these is going to have to be, Y is going to have to be 16, I think. And Z will have to be 256. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's us. Right, let's bring this over here. See if we can bash it in. Now, hopefully, in theory, I can just poke a hole in here. Oh god, I hope this works. Right, I'm just going to use these side windows to try and get it just right. So again, we're having little snapping issues, so we're just going to try and make sure it's married up nicely. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and align it with this floor in the center of the room, and then I'll bring it in. I think that's about right. Should we give it a go? We can always try and redo it. Okay, so we're just going to hit instead of CSG add, we're going to hit CSG subtract, and that'll just basically poke a hole in it. How does it look? Oh, it's pretty good. I'm not sure if we're going to fit through it without crouching, but that's alright. It'll do. We're not making AAA games. And we're going to edit the brush, and we're going to switch round Y and X, I think. So 16 by 256. Yes, that looks about right. And then we're just going to use this window in the same way I did down there to just match these bad boys up. I think I've pretty much done that perfectly. I don't want to oh no, that's not perfect at all. It's not in the doorway. Why isn't it in the doorway? Is that in the doorway? Let's give it a go. No, that was awful. Edit brush subtract. Stop it. How is that not in the doorway? What is going on? Are we... Is it... It's just out from it, isn't it? It's just a little bit out. Should we try... What? I think... Is it snapped? Is it not snapped? I think it wasn't snapped. I think that's us now. Let's go. We have a hole. Okay, so that's basically us done. We've got 2 rooms, a corner, dogleg corner, and a ramp. And you know, I think we've done some quite complex stuff, and hopefully it's been quite easy. I could play around with these and try and fix them up, but I won't do it in that video because that can take time. Basically, I didn't snap these incorrectly. I was going a bit too quick, and that's why I've got those errors. I don't mind overlapping on the outside so much. I mean, it does. You can see how it creates errors with everything slotting in. But if these had been in line here, so one was just taller than the other, then we could have used geometry mode to level them out, to just bring them to a natural, so it would have just flowed up and down, which I was going to do, but it'll be too difficult since they're not quite level. But that's fine. Next thing we're going to do is stick some lights in, otherwise I won't be able to see. So hold down L and left click for a light, and we'll stick one in here, and we'll make it quite a dull light, so we'll double click on it, and under the light then light component you've got light radius, and we'll stick that down to 300. How does that look? No, that's too dull. Try 500. Right, we'll leave it at 500 for now. We'll just go back into unlit mode, and we're going to stick one in the corridor, I think here. Raise it up, raise it up. I want it to be about there. Now we'll double click on this one once we get it a bit higher, and we'll make it quite a powerful one, 2500. Right, how's that looking? Oh, creepy. I like it. I might have to make them brighter, but that's cool. Oh, now that's good. I'll leave that like that, and I'll make this a bit brighter. I'm going to edit this one. I'll just make it. Ooh. I will break the computer. I'll make it full 2000 radius there, so that we can see. Okay, so we've got a couple of lights, and we've got a creepy looking room in there. Oh, see that? The light's bouncing. The light's bouncing, man. I wonder if we can. Let's just show it off center. Oh, how's that looking? Yeah, that'll do. Okay, so got our lights, got our level. Next thing we're going to do is edit the world settings. So go view world properties and come under game type and make sure under both of these you've got UT game selected. This is just going to allow us to run about with a gun. Now always save your projects as you're going along. I'm going to save current level. And I'll just do game cannon vid. There we go. I'll just save it like that. Okay, now you remember the build geometry button we were using to update the game for with any adjustments we made. Well, now we're finished, we're going to do build all, and we only really do this at the end. It takes a wee while, but that's why you leave it to the end. Let's just go build all. That's going to compile everything together, make sure it's all there, and hopefully I'm going to be able to walk about this and not fall through the floor unless I've made some horrendous mistake. And hopefully you guys will have made one yourself. Again, just ignore the error messages. They're for smarter people than us. So we're just going to right click on the floor in that lower level we made, and we're going to go play from here. Huzzah! So we've got a gun. And we just see that I'm not even looking at level, I'm already drawing things. Oh, that's awful. So we've got our starting room that we made, nice high walls so you can't escape. We've got our doorway, which is looking pretty good. I mean, that's not bad at all, that transition between there. Obviously you can texture these walls in the sky and put ceilings on and much more fun things. That's where we had the error, obviously, that we will learn for next time. But other than that, that ramp is, yeah, it's pretty good for first go. And then the creepy room that definitely has some evil people in it. If a mob spawned right now, I would probably crap myself. There would be some girly screaming going on. I might just get this level, plonk some zombies in it. Zombie survival, 2 rooms. You must stay in the light. Cool. Well, hopefully you've enjoyed this, and hopefully you're willing to give it a bash yourself, and I'm sure you'll come up with something a little more creative. And why not mess around with textures? Look into, you know, adding textures, adding a ceiling, you know, play around with it and have some fun. And maybe you'll find yourself making maps and mods one day. Okay guys, well thanks for watching, and keep an eye on the website, keep following my blog, and please like, favourite, and tune in next time. See ya.